second highest score ever made at Lord's.
Yeah, Lord's is a special place. Right from when I watched as a youngster South African teams play there was always positive memories, and it was one of those grounds that, when you get to for the first time, you can walk through the field to the nets at the nursery ground, and it's even though it's empty, it's still got atmosphere, it's got tradition. There's so much that comes with it, and getting that out the way as you build into playing your games there is important, because there's nothing like walking down the stairs through those member stands and out to a packed Lords. It's an incredible feeling, goosebump moments in your career. And for me personally, in 2003, going there, getting a double 100, winning the test match, Mackay getting 10 wickets, was like the most incredible sort of first experience of Lords, and one that I really cherish. And every time I went back there afterwards, you wanted to perform well, and you wanted to do well there. I'm fortunate that I get to go back to Lords fairly regularly, with the MCC work that I do, and the honorary membership and stuff. It's one of those places where you walk into and you flood back with positive memories. See the sign up of still the highest score by a foreigner, see your name in the change room, twice, on the honours board, just walking through, looking at the pictures, the memories, and the experiences of being at Lords. I just, find it just such a wonderful place. Building an incredible team. That was the second time I think we got our hands on the mace, but we had to overcome some massive challenges over that period. Playing in India, winning in England, winning in Australia again. So overcoming huge test tours, and we were a team that was in its prime. So many incredible players, a great unit, good coaching staff. And we were tight. We were a family, and we had a lot of really outstanding players that had come in and been hugely successful. So. Playing in England is never easy. You've got to, from a media, from a crowd, from a performance perspective, getting used to the Duke balls, all the different challenges and the weather and the conditions that come with it. You've really got to be on your game right throughout a big tour like that. And getting to Lords, the final game of the tour, it was a huge game. And I think the pitch was probably the most balanced pitch that I kind of played on at Lords, because often at Lords when the sun's out, it's good to bat. When it's cloudy, it moves around. But that pitch had something in for everybody. And on the final day, we were in control, and then Pryor and Swan batted beautifully, put us under pressure. And I just knew in my mind that it was a new ball pitch, and I needed to keep Vernon fresh for that new ball. And ultimately, it worked. Threw him the ball. And in one over, he cleaned up, and we were number one in the world. And I can still see us sitting in the change room, for hours and hours after that game, just, enjoying what we had achieved, and it was incredible. I think Rickleton had been on the fringes for a while, and I think, seeing him use the platform at SA20 to go and really elevate his game, almost put himself into a position across formats where he cannot be left out. He's got to be one of the first names on the list. I think he's I think there's a big shift. So that platform, and then IPL and all the things that come with that platform, he's really taken advantage of his opportunities through performance. And I think that's the key. SA20 provides the platform for players, and if they go and perform, the world's their oyster, and the opportunities are there for them. And Rickleton certainly has taken that, and going to Lords for the first time, let's hope that he puts his hand up, performs at the top of the order. Yeah, Marco, I think we know. I mean, he's got all the assets, with bat, ball, in the field. It's just his talent is, never mind his physique, he's tall, he's got assets, but his talent is immense. And I think what you wanted to see from Marco is that growth curve, in terms of performance goes up. So exposure, I talk about it a lot, but I mean, having to lead the Sunrisers, be their main match winner with ball and bat, and that responsibility that comes with him, and the growth and confidence and the belief within his own ability, you've just seen go from strength to strength. And you hope that when he gets to Lords, I mean, he's a game changer. He can break that game open for South Africa if he's on. Again, it's going to be about him managing his nerves, the pressure on him going into that game, so that he can get the best out of himself. And hopefully the exposures he's had at SA20 and IPL and so on has really set him up well for the occasion that's coming. For players like KG, who've got incredible records, and we know that they're one of the best bowlers in the world, it's about recognizing these moments that come your way. You know how many times are you going to get to play in a World Test Championship final? And he's a leader of the attack. He's a senior man in that group. And you can only imagine that he's going to be up for it. And what you hope is that he leads the way in terms of performance, because if KG's on fire, everyone else follows. I think everyone watching that Test match, if you're an Australian fan or South African fan, that KG is going to be key in the game. We've seen him bowl well at Lords. He's got a good experience of the ground, and he's got a lot to offer the group now. So, I guess for everyone, it's about how you deal with that occasion and how you get the best out of yourself. When you're going to a big game like this, the leadership group, has to come together, to deal with, what's coming their way. Aiden plays a big role in that as well, with Temba and the coach Shukri and so on, Janssen and Rabada. The thing is, they've got to create a platform where you talk about the things that are going to come your way from the Australian English media, the crowds, the pitches. Just really try and get everything out in the open, that each player arrives there prepared, knows what to expect, and they're ready for it. And they've talked, and they've got sort of ways of dealing with stuff. And then ultimately it's about getting into the arena and performing. I think for Aiden, his leadership is one, but he could be potentially a game changer with the bat. We know technically, in Test cricket, he probably has had his challenges, but he's a game changer in terms of like taking the game away from the Australians. If he gets in and gets 100, it'll be huge for that batting lineup. Betway SA20 has certainly helped create a platform. I talk about a lot for players. I mean, we've seen this season at the IPL, I think close to 20 South African players involved in the IPL. The platform that Betway SA20 gives us that exposure, and then it's up to the players then to go and perform and use that platform and take their opportunity. And we've seen that happen with the likes of Luandre Pretorius as an example, who's now getting opportunities globally. People are talking whether he should have even been selected for the World Test Championship final. So that was just the platform, and then he went domestic and done well. So hopefully, we're exposing our best domestic players to full houses, international broadcasts, global exposure, and franchises that are the most professional in the world, that bring the best coaches, medical, fitness. So, any opportunity to lift the standard and the gravitas of South African cricket, I think for us at Betway SA20 is crucial. We're right behind Temba and the team. I think certainly everyone's expecting us to be underdogs in this game, but in a once-off Test match, World Test Championship final, I mean, the opportunities are there for Temba and the team. And as the last man that held the mace at Lords, it would give me great pleasure to see Temba and this group of players lift it. I'll be there, and I'll certainly will be scrambling to celebrate it with them if that's the case. At Betway SA20, we've been kind of deliberate in our messaging. Right in the beginning, we wanted to revive a cricket fan, bring the gravitas, or gees as we say in South Africa, back to the game, see the fans and new fans coming to the game, and ultimately see our South African Proteas teams doing well. And I think over the last 2 to 3 years, both men and women, we've seen real big steps of success. We haven't got a trophy yet, but we've been in finals, semi-finals, and now another final of the World Test Championship. And I think the feeling around South African cricket over the last 3-4 years has definitely grown. It's a much more positive frame of mind. And going to World Test Championship final now, you can feel the hype, you can feel how people are focused. You're playing against Australia, it always adds an extra layer of hope and belief and fandom. So looking forward to getting over there and supporting the guys at Lords.